Have you ever wondered simple rubber band? If you gently tug on it, it stretches a bit, but it doesn't snap. This is a representation of a small amount of stress being applied to the object. Stress, in this context, is the force or pressure applied to an object, much like the pulling action on our rubber band. But what happens when we pull it too hard? It stretches a lot, and if we continue to apply that force, it could snap or break. This is what happens when the stress on an object becomes too much to handle. The concept of stress in objects is like the pressure or force acting on them. When the stress is too high, it could cause the object to deform or even break. Just like the rubber band, objects are designed to handle certain levels of stress, and if you exceed that limit, they can fail or get damaged. But how does stress affect different objects, you may ask? Well, that's a great question worth diving into. Just as every person reacts differently to stress, so do objects. The response to stress varies from one material to another. Let's consider two examples: a glass cup and a steel beam. Imagine a glass cup. It's brittle, which means it can't handle much stress. If you apply a small amount of force, it might remain intact. But increase the force beyond a certain point, and it will suddenly shatter without any warning. The glass cup doesn't bend or stretch, it simply snaps. This is because brittle materials like glass have a low tolerance to stress and are unable to deform gradually. Now, let's consider a steel beam. Steel is a ductile material, quite the opposite of our glass cup. If you apply force on a steel beam, it doesn't break immediately. Instead, it starts to deform or bend. It can handle a lot more stress compared to the glass. It stretches and changes shape under the force, providing clear signs of distress before finally giving in. This is because ductile materials, like steel, have a higher tolerance to stress and can deform gradually under pressure without breaking suddenly. So, you see, stress affects different objects in different ways. It all comes down to their inherent properties. Some materials are brittle and can't handle much stress, breaking suddenly when the pressure gets too much. Others are ductile and can bear more stress, deforming gradually under pressure. Understanding these differences is crucial, especially in fields like construction and manufacturing, where the strength and durability of materials are paramount. It helps us choose the right materials for the right applications, ensuring safety and efficiency. In conclusion, stress is not just a concept applicable to us humans. It's a universal phenomenon that affects all objects, from the smallest molecule to the largest structures. Every object has its breaking point, its limit of stress it can handle before it changes shape or breaks. So why does it matter to understand the concept of stress in objects? Well, let's delve into that. Knowing how much stress an object can endure before it changes shape or breaks is crucial in countless fields, especially those involving design, construction, and engineering. Imagine designing a skyscraper. You'd need to know exactly how much wind, weight, and other forces the building can withstand before it becomes unsafe. This is where understanding stress comes into play. It's a key factor in assessing the safety and durability of the structure. Think about bridges. These magnificent structures need to bear the weight of countless vehicles every day, not to mention the force of the wind. By comprehending the concept of stress, engineers can ensure these bridges are robust and safe for everyone. Or consider everyday objects like your favorite coffee mug or your smartphone. These items might seem simple, but they're designed to handle specific amounts of stress. If they couldn't, your coffee mug might shatter when you pour boiling water into it, or your phone might break if it slips from your hand. So, the understanding of stress in objects isn't just about complex structures or engineering marvels. It's about everything around us, from the smallest gadget to the tallest skyscraper. So, understanding the stress levels an object can take is essential in creating safe and durable designs. To wrap things up, we've explored the concept of stress in objects, how it impacts different materials, and the critical importance of understanding its effects. We've seen how objects like rubber bands can hold up under pressure until a certain limit, after which they can deform or even break. The knowledge of these stress limits is crucial not only in everyday life, but also in various fields such as construction, manufacturing, and engineering. Remember, every object has its limit, its breaking point. The key is to understand these limits to avoid catastrophic failures and ensure safety.